Hey, everybody. So I wanted to answer a question that came in as a direct message, a little conversation I was having with somebody on one of the social platforms about the book industry and why things have gotten so expensive and where we're at and where we're going and all that kind of fun stuff. And pricing, it got me thinking, I'm like, how expensive are things to price now as far as buying a book? So I wanted to take a little look at just a paperback, right? And say, okay, look, what about paperback pricing? So as an example, I picked this one, Star Wars, Young Jedi Knights, mass produced paperback. That mass produced, but I've seen them in used bookstores. I've got a complete set of these. Some of them I bought when they were new, some of them I filled in the gaps later. But this came out in 1995. It's a 232 page book at the time, sold for $4.99. Right, $4, $4.99. Beautiful book, well done. Is for a paperback. I mean, you could do better, but yeah, it's a mass market paperback. We're not talking about something that was made to be a collectible. We're talking about something that was made to be carried on an airplane and thrown and forgotten about, kind of, right? I mean, that's what a lot of people did with this sort of stuff. But the reason I picked this one is, if you look carefully, it's got this nice gold foil on it. It's got a lot of nice artwork. It's got raised lettering up here at the Star Wars. It's a nicely done paperback, and for $5, right? Okay, but you're saying, hey Tim, but remember that was in 1995, right? So adjusted for inflation, that's $10.47. Okay, so $10 in today dollars, $5 in 1995 dollars. And then I can only look at what I price my books at. So I can't necessarily go off and pull data on, hey, everybody in the industry prices their books like this, because some authors price higher, some authors price lower, and that's because if you don't have a publishing house, and I work as an indie, so it's just me and a co-author, and that's pretty much it. Um, you can only set things at a price Amazon will let you. So there's a floor on how much you can set a book. This is one of mine that I wrote. It's about the same number of pages. Yeah, you can put color graphics on the front. You get these nice glossy covers, but you can't do this raised lettering. You can't do the foil, but you can get a nice cover. About the same number of pages, but the pages aren't as thick bond as these they were. The binding's certainly not as nice, and the modern binding is probably going to fall apart long before the other one does. And there's no control I have over that. That's just the way they print them now, and that's the way a lot of books are printed, both this print on demand technology. But it sells for $10.99, and that's the cheapest I can make it in Amazon's little world. It won't let me put it below that because there's a cost of paper, there's a cost of glue, there's a cost of printing, there's a cost of color print on the front. All that costs money, so it's a little bit more than the 232 page book. Mine's 245. But no raised lettering, no glossy whatever on the front cover. So the other one would cost more if, big if, you could get somebody to do that today. Getting somebody to do those raised letters and the foil and everything else, man, you're going to be spending 20-25 bucks a pop in the stores for those things. So you get a downgrade for a little bit more money. I went and pulled a few others, and it kind of became the same way. It was like, okay, if you have the same similar cover and then you adjust for inflation, you get to kind of twice the cost of what I have. So it's, you look at $20 for the same number of pages versus the 10.99, or $21 for the same number of pages instead of the 10.99. So yeah, books have gotten more expensive, even adjusted for inflation. So it kind of makes me wonder, where are we kind of going with the book industry, which is why digital becomes so important. So I kind of looked into the print industry, and print is not selling as well as digital in some cases. I know in my stuff, a lot more digital copies have been sold for Kindle and other e-readers than have been sold on the print side. And I think that's an industry-wide thing. And also, Audible is kind of growing, and it was books on tape existed, but Audible has kind of expanded that greatly over the last couple of years. So yeah, books do cost more. There's no doubt about it. They have exceeded the inflationary rate. And publishing houses are not putting as much thought into the cover. They're not doing the foil stuff they used to. The covers are not the artistry that they once were. That's pretty much, I mean, you can't really, I don't know any way other or to argue it. Then they used to think about the whole package, what was inside, what was outside, cover art, get the right artist, get it to flow. And now you don't see as much of that beautiful cover art as you once did. It's changed drastically. Um, I try to put a lot of thought into my cover art. I always hire artists to do it. I'm by no means an artist, so I've always paid somebody to go off and create a cover for me. But again, it's flat printed on a gloss, well, not flat print, it's a glossy cover, but you're not going to get raised lettering, you're not going to get foil, short of trying to have some produced and do it expensive. So the other thing with foil and raised lettering like that you used to get in the Star Wars books is you'd have to print a bunch of those and warehouse them and hope people bought them. Whereas now most books, the majority of books you order from Amazon are all print on demand. So it's like it doesn't exist until you order it and then they print it and ship it to your house. Um, so you're not going to see that kind of stuff is gone. I don't think it's ever going to come back because nobody's going to take the risk on warehousing them anymore. So when we see these things and go, well, what happened? Well, technology in some ways, the market in another. People aren't reading as much as they used to, and when they do, they tend towards the ebooks, just for ease, right? I've got a Kindle that even I use. That man, I can carry a bunch of stuff on it, right? I can download stuff for free from the library. I can, it's a great tool. So what have we abandoned all print? Is there no hope? Well, no, I think there's hope, but I think if we want to look at it realistically, I think part of that cost driving difference is the economies of scale. And what that means is there was no e-reader in 1995. If you wanted to read that book, you had to go get a copy of that book and actually read it, not download a EPUB or use an e-reader to do it. So yeah, it's different. The entire market was there. It wasn't in this bifurcated thing. So are these covers coming back? I don't think it's ever coming back. It's just too expensive to do. And then you've got to warehouse it, hope people order it, and then you have to do order fulfillment, and that's expensive stuff to do. So print on demand is what keeps the prices down. And we can say whether we can ask whether or not print on demand is a good thing, but it is what's kept the cost down, and it's allowed what is the growing indie publishing world to kind of come into its own. Because now we don't have to go off and pay personally for 1,000 copies of something to be printed. We can do the print on demand and not have to store it in our closets and garage. That becomes a big problem, and then order fulfillment becomes a bigger pain and all that kind of stuff. So um, I don't think that kind of stuff's ever coming back. I just don't. It was a great question. I hope that answers it. Did a little bit of research to figure that out. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't yet, click like and subscribe on the channel. And I'll see everybody on the next video, whenever that is. I'm reading The Bear and the Dragon by Tom Clancy right now. So will there be a video on that one eventually when I finish it? But this thing's 1,000 pages. We'll see how long it takes. Talk to everybody soon.